Hey yo, welcome to England. Today I'm going to be talking about this shitty little island that thinks it's special for some reason and why it's deservingly hated by the rest of the world. Because if you can't tell, I'm English. What a shocker, innit? And I think it's funny when people insult the British. So today I'm going to be doing just that. So first things first, I'm going to tell you the backstory of England. So the earliest human fossil found in England dates back to around 500,000 years ago to a 6 foot tall man of the species Homo heidelbergensis. Handsome fella, isn't he? But England only really kicked off in the late 1500s with the development of racism. You see, England was one of the first countries in the world to take part in the slave trade, and we were really the ones responsible for, kicking it into full gear. But thankfully that's all behind us, and the education system wants to hide that as much as possible and pretend like England has always been this amazing place where nothing goes wrong, since it's like the, fifth richest country in the world. Anyway, wasn't that cheerful. Now let's talk about England today. So I think we should start off with some famous English people. So to start off with, we have Spider-Man, and we also have Spider-Man, and you guessed it, we also have Piers Morgan.
Pig. Pigs, a pig, pigs, a pig, just a bit of pig, the pig. Leave our pig sweets alone, you. Ooh, God.
But since they're the only three famous people we have, you're not likely going to see them walking down the street. So here are some of the types of people you're going to see on a day-to-day basis. So starting off with, we have the posh southerners who say bath and grass instead of bath and grass. And then the real southerners who say Tuesday innit, but only about 40% of the population speak like that, which means 40% of the population are wrong. Moving on, we've got the Chavs, but I'm unable to show you an actual photo of these because the sight of them can quite literally cause physical pain. So if I had to get an artist's rendition of what one would look like, and scary, right? You can basically tell if you're in a 5-kilometer radius of a chav because of the blinding orange pigment in only the face and nothing but the face, and the overwhelming smell of fake tan. Alright, next we have these inbreds. You've got to watch out for them because they can throw up gang signs which look like what I did to your mum last night. And some of them even carry on weapons like machetes, baseball bats, and I think that's a window cleaner. Then we have the middle-aged football fans. These blend in a bit more than the rest because of the bare bellies and balding heads, which about 90% of the British male population have. But you can always tell them apart because they'll always have a can of beer in their right hand, and they'll occasionally commit domestic abuse when a team of grown men don't kick a ball in the right place. This leads us perfectly onto the next section, stereotypes. Now, I know these aren't particularly good things, but we all have bad teeth. Yeah, a lot of English people have bad teeth, except me. I'm an exception. We complain a lot. Yeah, I've noticed this. British people like to think they're tough, but then whinge about the stupidest things, like they would moan about how it's cold and raining all the time. But then as soon as it gets warm, they start complaining like it's too hot, and it's like, just make your mind up. We drink a lot of tea. It's all nice though. Sarcasm. I mean, our humour completely depends on sarcasm. So yeah, I'd say that's true. Alright, so hopefully I've covered enough about the people in England, and if you didn't apply to any of those categories, then you're irrelevant. And now we're going to be looking at some places you can visit in England. Admittedly, England does have some very nice scenery, and London looks really cool at night, and there's tons of super old things that you can look at, like Buckingham Palace, tons of castles, and your mall. But where England really shines through are the places that people often forget to visit, like, look at that architecture. So I think I've talked about that enough, and I know what you fat fuck is thinking about. Food. Apparently British people think they have some of the nicest food in the world. I don't see what's particularly nice about a lot of it, to be honest. It all looks like vomit, and I'm guessing all of the countries think the same. But hey, look at me. I don't eat food. So I thought I'd Google English food and rank the first 10 I see on a scale of how likely I'd eat it, if that makes sense. First up we have the full English breakfast. This is alright to fair because I like sausages and bacon and I've had beans before. I don't really like them, but I've had them before. And I haven't had the other things like the grilled tomato, black pudding, whatever the hell that is. So I'd give this a 4 out of 10. Next we have black pudding. Like I said, I have absolutely no idea what this is. And cereal and a sausage sounds absolutely disgusting. 1 out of 10. Deviled kidneys. What the fuck? I've never had mustard or Worcestershire sauce, but I have had lamb, so I guess I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Eggy bread. This just keeps getting weirder and weirder. So apparently this is just the same as French toast, which I haven't had either, but it seems quite simple, so 5 out of 10. Cadbury. This doesn't look terrible. It has weird egg on it, and that yellow stuff is kind of frightening. 3 out of 10. Crumpet. I actually know what this is. Oh, I'm not so proud of that. It looks the least scary out of the ones we've seen so far. 7 out of 10. Fish and chips. Everyone raves about this, and I don't really know why. I'm not a big fan of fish personally. It tastes a bit weird, and the stuff on the outside of the fish is even weirder. 2 out of 10. Steak and kidney pie. This looks grim. 1 out of 10. Bangers and mash. 8 out of 10. I've had this before. Mashed potatoes are a bit weird. I do love sausages though. Sunday roast. Alright, so here's the thing. I hate Sunday roasts. They're so dry and there's literally nothing about them. And I've only eaten like 2 of those things. Minus 12 out of 10. Anyway, I think that'll do it for today. Hopefully you've all been enlightened. And hopefully I've insulted some of you as well. Because you're British. Fuck you.